Yo everybody, so what's happening? I'm back in Florida, back home, Sunshine State, familiar place. So I'm back at my buddy's shop, and y'all know I went off-roading last week. Well, I went off-roading over the weekend, and I ended up busting up a pinion seal on the front. Now, and I apologize, first of all, I apologize for the noise, because I'm right side of the road, and I'm gonna start walking, so I feel that noise. But so after busting up this pinion seal on the front axle, I decided that I need to get it replaced, right? And I know what y'all saying, replacing the pinion seal is easy enough, and I can do it. But so I brought it back to my homeboys up here at Outlaw Offroad in Silver Springs, Florida, because A, I trust these guys. B, get a chance to come hang out with my boys for a little while, because y'all know I like hanging out up here. And C, it gave me a chance to come home and see my folks. See my mom, my dad, the kids, and everybody, you know what I'm saying? And that's reason enough right there to come home. So this is a good opportunity. So I'm back home, I'm gonna go in here, we get this thing taken care of, and I get rolling on out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead, go over here and see what's going on, and we're gonna get this thing taken care of, and we're gonna make last roadworthy again. See y'all in a few. Now, here's the other reason why I wanted to come up here and let them work on it, is because this gives me a chance to do some videos so y'all can see what actually goes on here. And so my man over here, I'm gonna let him do it. That way I can show y'all a few things. Now, I gotta admit, well, now I gotta tell y'all, they work here. So all of the noise and everything that you hear in the background, it's just work going on. So I apologize for the noise, but these guys gotta work. They gotta put food on the table. They gotta make a living. So it is what it is. So I'm gonna go over here, show you what's happening, and we're gonna get it done. All right. And just so y'all know, this my man Dave here working on this. Got all four of the axle bolts out. 90,000 miles. You gotta fight this thing off. That's that red South Carolina clay, man. That stuff
I got something for it.
That stuff is like concrete. I mean, look at the bottom of my Jeep. Look at that. Look at that. Look how thick that's caked on right there. Holy crap. Finally got it off. Now what he did, because I had to walk off for a second, what he did was he threw the old impact wrench on, took the nut off, pulled the yoke out, and now all your seal and your everything's exposed, so he can knock it out, knock it in.
I was looking for my shorter one, but I didn't find it. Drippy. You can top it off afterwards.
See, I would have been messing up somebody's driveway right now. And I'd have been out here running, trying to find some sand to throw on it, and of it easy off, trying to get it off the driveway before they go home. I'm gonna say this, and it's on camera, but I did mess up a driveway. You know what? I hate changing oil, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, I can't stand it either.
God, I hate changing oil. It's the easiest thing to do, but I hate it because I always make a mess. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I changed oil the last time I changed oil in this.
I got the platinum package with that one.
See? But
so they can do it.
The last time I changed the oil in this, I took the thing off,
yeah,
and I thought I had the pan right there. That joker hit the wrong spot on the pan. Oil went everywhere. Then I slid it over and got the oil under there. Then, after I got the pan in the right spot, I went to move the oil pan, knock more of it. I'm like, dang it. I'm like, this is why I hate changing oil, man. There you go, y'all. Old seal, new seal. Just like that.
There's a spot right there that looks like it's got an imperfection in it.
Yeah.
See what happened?
Ain't but one way to find out, right?
Put it in and see.
Just so y'all can get a look, see the look down in there for none of y'all have never seen before. There's your bearings in there. And y'all saw a little grease leak out a little further earlier, but those are your bearings. And put that seal back on. Just gonna take the whole knock 'em tool.
If you're not careful, you can destroy your seal by putting it in. See how it's supposed to fold over. I'll be right back.
That's money right there. Still a little bit left.
See that orange?
Mm-hmm.
That orange is actually the sealant that they put on the outside. So when it goes through, it seals up any imperfections on the outside.
Oh, okay.
It's like a pre-made like silicone type seal, so that it goes in, it just scrapes off what it doesn't need, but it allows it to scrape down through any grooves or anything in that cast album.
Right, so because I guess you got to remember that nobody's perfect, so when they make these seals, any imperfections in the on the seal itself, that sealant fills up the.
Well, it used to be you used to put regular sealant on them when you put them in because they didn't have that on them, but now they've gotten smart enough to put it on it.
You know what's crazy, man? Well, I guess it's not crazy, but if you buy the pinion the pinion nut for the steering box, like the old ones used to come a nut with a cotter pin in it, a castle nut.
Yeah.
These don't. You have to put red Loctite on them. If you order one, it comes with the Loctite already on it. If you get a new one, just like that seal, it comes with the Loctite on it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it until I had to buy one. But then I got an extra one now because I just took mine and put red Loctite on it.
You don't plan on changing it, do you?
What's that?
That.
No. No.
RCV makes a delete for that damn. They call that one the FAD, F-A-D, forward axle disconnect.
Talking about that. Let's talk about that.
You can take that off, get it deleted, so you don't have to deal with that shit no more.
Don't tempt me, man.
When you get when you get a little more hardcore.
Y'all see this? They talking trash. They talking trash about me, y'all.
When you get ready to bump up the 40s, you'll have to do that. and I'm sure it'll be coming.
See, this is what I came up here for, to get harassed. Y'all see this, right? Y'all see this?
There you go.
Now for the rest of us, what'd you just do?
What? There's a crush sleeve in there, right?
Right.
So you got to put a lot of pressure on it when we first do it. When we first install the gears, you got to put a lot of pressure on it to crush that crush sleeve.
Okay, makes sense.
And what that does is it basically keeps constant pressure on it. So when we take it off, obviously the crush sleeve is already crushed, and we just got to make sure that we get it back on there and get it tight. And we may have put a ugga-dugger or two on it too much, so we just had to back it off a little bit so it'll spin freely. You don't want it to where it'll spin and just keep spinning, because it's got to have pressure on it. But it takes a certain amount of torque to turn that when you got it right. The smartest thing to do, the easiest way to remember, is take your nut and mark it with a crayon, and then mark your pinion. So when you put them all back together, you tighten it down, those two lines should line up. Obviously, you know, it's going to go down in there. It's going to pass it a bunch of times before it gets there, but once it gets tight, if it goes ugga-dugga here, you know it was there before, so you got to ugga-dugga it until it gets there and there matches up. Or if you go too far, oh shit, I got too much, I'll back it off.
Right. I got to start using the ugga-dugga though.
The ugga-dugga?
Like this here, the tap, That's a tink tink.
Tap tap, tink tink,
Got the bam bam hanging in on the cart.
and make sure you get the right amount of ugga dugga. You know what? One time in my Ram, I had to take the rear drive shaft out and spin it flip it 2 bolts because it was vibrating.
Yeah, have that face.
And I flipped it over 2 bolts. Boom, it fixed it. I don't even know why I did that. Oh yeah, somebody told me, say, hey man, just flip it over 2 bolts. I'm like, what? And at the time, I didn't know.
Well, a lot of times too, like your Dodges, these not so much, but your Dodges and your Fords on your yokes, like the flat yoke like this, they've got either a hole that's got a piece on this part of the yoke that drops into it, or this will have the inset with a lip on this, almost like your wheels got a lip there. Okay. So if you put it in there and it's not dead on, it'll vibrate.
Ah, okay. Now you know, back in the day, man, we didn't care about all that. We just run it.
Oh, you know.
You're right. Flipping no axles, lips, none of that. We just run what we brought.
Well, it's like U-joints. You got the inside clips, you got the outside clips on a U-joint.
Right. Okay.
You know they make different thicknesses of those.
And on all of them don't always fit in there. I know that much, yeah. Well,
and I come across this in an article in Mopar magazine where they had an issue with the drive shafts and stuff. They put a U-joint in, put it in the car, and the car vibrated. Fought for like a month and a half trying to figure out this vibration. Okay. Pulled the drive shaft out, pulled the clips out, figured it was a bad U-joint, off milled or whatever. Happened to look down and realized that one of the inside locks on one side was thinner than the other. It was throwing it off that little bit.
Oh, just that. See?
That little bit.
See?
Caused the vibration.
And you can only.
I look at stupid shit.
Right. Well, I mean, the stupid. That's the stuff that works. I mean, and you know, you can only get that kind of knowledge from years of experience. You know what I mean? Now, I guess I got to tell y'all that right there, that info you just got, that comes from years of experience. And you can read everything in a book, tell you what the torque specs are to do things a certain way. But from years of experience is how you find out the little details that make the difference. Say that again.
All right, so what you're looking for when you do a diff service, you can get a clean, when you catch in the oil, get a clean container.
Right.
It doesn't have to be spotless, just try to get as clean as you can. And then when you get all the oil drains out, you're gonna be watching it, looking for anything that's shiny, metal flaky, and then if you don't see nothing, you stick your finger down in there, get you a good blob on your finger, and then roll it in there. So if there's any sharp pieces or anything that stabs you, that could be a concern. It could be bearings starting to wear, and as they wear, they'll flake off little pieces of metal. Teeth if they're not mashed up right. Right. But in your case, you got good. It's dirty because you put all the damn miles on it, but there's no shiny stuff in there, and there's nothing sharp going on. So we're gonna go ahead and do the diff service on it now.
I ain't buy this thing to sit in the garage, man.
That's right. Exactly right. I think it's awesome.
I ain't buy it to sit in the garage. So they're having a meeting of minds back there. A little bit of sweating going on. It's about 90-something degrees here. So here's another reason why I like hanging out up here. I mean, look at all these rigs they got up here. They got this Ram back here. Let me do the little spin-a-roni. Hold on. They got this Ram sitting out here. Got an XJ sitting out here. Y'all can see what they got on that. Snorkel and everything. Now this is actually Dave's Jeep right here. This is his. This is his personal. And Dave also has a Comanche that he has built too. Another one. Nice one. You know, they got the carpet taken out. Got them old school Inkies on it though. Okay. Pro-Comp mud terrain, you know what I'm saying? It's old school right here, got some nice old school seat covers on it, no carpet. All right. Something else they're working on. Full cage. Fuel cell in the back. Looks like they still got to get the suspension right on it. One of the projects that a customer probably left up here for them to work on. One of my homeboys back in South Carolina like that because he calls his YJ Squirrel. I see you, Jordan. Suspension. Another project. Custom tails, bumper. Got them MXTs. My last wheels were Corsa MXTs. Well, not my last wheels. I meant my last tires on my JT over there before I went to the Yokos. Got the anti-rocks, sway bar, custom shocks. Looks like they put a long arm kit on here. Working on the headlights, probably putting some LEDs in there. Rusty setup. Gotta have a flatbed to haul it with. Customer might be getting something worked on over here. Okay. Ocala Jeep Crew. Check them out. Check them out on Facebook, y'all. RCV axles. That's your anti-rock. Worn winch. Got a lizard. Part of the build. Rusty shocks. Body armor. Rusty shocks in the rear. ARB air compressor for the lockers. What they got on here? It's some of the work they do, y'all. They do some custom stuff up here. So I mean, everything they do up here, they do everything from stock work to custom work, from mile to wide. Anything you want, they can do it. They can do it. Ain't nothing up here they can't do. Another one of the vehicles they got sitting out here for, you know, they're working on. That's a beauty right there. Hold on, we gotta get a little bit closer look at this. Yeah, there's potential right here. If any one of y'all don't like this, you got problems. Anyway, let's check out some other stuff. He's on riding this. Y'all notice he got one of them light up whip antennas. LED for a CB. One of my buddies from South Carolina got one on his Jeep. Christian, you know what I'm talking about, man. Light up in the middle of the night, making it look all cool and fly. I got this JK they're working on. He got complete coil-over suspension. It's a bolt-on though. It's got the axle out because what they're doing is they're changing out the axles and they're putting, well, you can already see the 44 up front. That's the 44 they're putting up front, and they're putting a 60 in the rear. Also, they're changing over the brake system and going to bigger brakes. I'm gonna go around to the other side, get a little better look. So here's the 44 they got on the front, the new one that they're putting on. Well, this is already put in. They just gotta alter a couple of the mounts and change a few things around. They got RCV axles going in here. They got the hydro assist steering going back to the same coilover shocks that he had in here from before. Well, already in here. Not taking those out. Got the bump stops in the stock location. Lanyard disconnects. King Off-Road and everything. A good nice ride. All of the axles, both of the axles for the front and the rear, complete bolt on. So everything's gonna be nice. Winch, snorkel, light and everything. There's some of the custom work they do up here, man. I mean, then they got another Wrangler sitting over here. YJ. Working on the suspension. See the axles out, so they might either be changing out the axles, something else in it. I don't know. Don't have any details about it, but I want to show y'all this Scout. Now, this Scout is just, oh man, I'm so jealous. From the wheels to the engine, everything. Look at that. And what's this thing got in it? 345? Okay. Look like it's brand new. Oh yeah, it is brand new. There's the box right there. All right, y'all. Remember that JK in it I was showing you that they put the new axles and everything on it? Here's the 60 that's going in there. Look at the size of this thing. It is massive. That's a big chunk right there. Axles are already set up for it. Man, y'all want one of these? Get your money right. Get one of these 60s. Throw it on your rig and roll. All the mounts and everything already set up. Complete bolt in for that JK. Get your money right, y'all. Let's go. I think one day, man, I'm gonna have to get me another. Well, you know what? I'm gonna wait until I put lockers on this thing and get another diff cover. Get one of ARB's. Get one of ARB diff covers when I put them ARB lockers in there.
Better up on the box.
Really?
Yep.
Cable?
Those are Knox. They're made here in Florida.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Rusty's in Florida too, right?
No, Rusty's Alabama.
Oh, I thought Rusty was in Florida. My bad.
Nope. In fact, when we do that September trip, we're going by the same.
Oh, wow.
So we're doing Chuckalooka Mountain, we're going to Grey Rock, and we're going by Sea Rusty.
Ops is in Florida? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What part?
I don't remember where the hell they're at. They're about someplace.
I didn't know that.
GoCo or something, I think.
Cable more reliable? In your opinion? Your opinion?
ARB are great lockers. They work awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a least little nick in an O-ring, it don't work.
Air.
Air.
Doesn't take much. You're right.
Electric locker. Solenoid goes bad. You have no locker.
That's why most of these brand new Jack Gladiators and Wranglers end back up in the shop. Gotcha.
You go with an aux locker, you can go with electric, you can go with air, you can go with whatever the actuator. But it comes with a plug.
Uh-huh.
You can pull whatever actuates them out if it screws up. You can screw it in there, you get off the trip.
Oh. All right.
And if you get one that's power actuated,
Uh-huh.
you order the cable too. If the power actuation goes out, you pull that off, put the cable in there because it uses the same mechanism.
Right.
You put that in there too. You fucking tie it up here on the frame someplace, you fucking flip it over, you got your locker working again.
Huh.
Get you off the trail, and you get a new actuator. When you new actuator, you pull the cover, you swap everything back out, put the electronic actuator back in it, and put the cable back in your box. It's a foolproof setup if you have to run a pluggable locker.
Y'all learning more than y'all need to know today. Look, y'all learning all these tips, all these suggestions, all this stuff. If y'all don't go up to Outlaw Offroad and get them to work on your rig for teaching y'all all of this information today, you're wrong. Let me just put that out there, you're wrong. Go check them out, let them hook you up. I better go check them out. All right, y'all, we got both of the great minds up under here. Look at this. Team effort. We got both of them on here. Boating in boats. This is an Olympic sport. Y'all just don't know about it. I could be a commentator. Well, as you know it, folks, if you look, they got 2 boats in and we're rounding out the top. And this is going in great fashion. This is looking to be a 10-point game here, y'all. It's almost like synchronized swimming and synchronized boating.
It takes time to do 2 boats at once.
Hey,
Skills, Dave's got skills.
skills, man. I don't know nothing about that, man. Y'all.
Oh, he gave me the hard one.
And doing left-handed split finger over the sway bar.
Look at the fluid motion, right and left, same speed.
You charge extra for bloody fingers, man. Bloody knuckles concept.
Nah, I should have let him get that doggone Gatorade when I had the chance. No, I'm gonna have to walk.
No, this is the orange one. Yeah.
Oh, whew. Man.
What's that?
And while they're torquing those down to the right spec, I'm gonna go find me something to drink. It is hot. Oh, yeah, here we go. Had to find it. Yes, sir. I'm gonna get this. For that deep down body thirst. Ah. Now, just for the people out there that have never had to put fluid in their diff before, so we can inform somebody, where do you want to put that in when you're filling it up?
When you're filling it up, I mean, there's all different ways to fill it up. You can get it in a gallon and pump it, whatever, but the idea is to fill it up to this is your fill plug here. You will fill it up till it starts coming out the fill plug hole.
Okay.
You can always refer to your owner's manual or Google, and it'll give you a ballpark idea of how much oil should go in here.
That way, when you start getting close to that, like if it says 4 quarts, you start getting close to 4 quarts, you know it's about to get close to pouring out.
On average, I believe, 2.5 quarts is going to be your average differential.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, of course, is different. A Dana 60 is going to hold more than a Dana 30 or whatever, but it's this pretty standard thing, and you want to do it while it's on the ground at ride height, not in the air, not full stuff or anything like that, because it's going to throw it off. On the rear end, especially one like this one, where the axle tube seals are at either end, when it does start coming out, just put your drain plug in to stop it so you don't make a mess, but let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes, because that oil needs to travel down the tubes to those bearings.
Makes sense.
So if you don't basically top it off afterwards, you're going to be running just a little bit low. Okay. Not the end of the world, but if you want to do it, you want to do it right.
Right.
If you're doing bushings, that's a major thing you got to do. Leave your main mount bolts, snug them up, but don't tighten them. You put it on the ground, because your metal sleeve that goes through that bushing, when you tighten it down, locks that sleeve there. Right. Well, when you set it down and it twists that rubber in that bushing. It puts it under a load when it's at ride height. You don't want it under a load at ride height. So when you put it together and you set it down, you set it on the ground, then you tighten all your bushing bolts that were there. They're tightened at ride height, so you still have that movement. And it's not all twisted one way. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the only time it's in a bind is when it's either flexed out, or so it always wants to come home.
Right, but yeah, brake clean.
I got to feel the drop. But here, it's going to twist inside of there in just a little bit. But when it comes home, it's relaxed. It's not. The bolt's still tight, but it's just relaxed. You're not putting the torque on the bushing. So if you did, that's not the truth with Johnny joints. Johnny joints, you don't have to do all that. Or Heim joints, you don't have to do all that, because it pivots inside of itself anyway.
Right. Hold on. So let me make sure I'm square. So this 44 right here is a 35 spline, right?
Yeah, so Glock and all that in there is 35.
Okay. So the RCVs for this should be 35 spline too.
Yep.
Which means the seals in it.
The seals, they should have a bigger seal to compensate for the axle size.
Okay.
The axle's not going to go through that seal, meaning telling me that it's got a standard axle 32 spline seal in it.
And that's why it won't go in.
Why it won't go in.
Because you actually took
That 32
this
spline
axle
and fit through it.
and it went fit in with no problem. That's a 32 spline, which is a smaller diameter than those right there.
Yep.
And now the fact that that one went in and those won't.
Those means got the wrong seal.
You know what you need to make, which I'm surprised you ain't made yet, is a tool, which is probably already out, that you can put down in that axle tube and you can mic circumference in there, way down there. You know what I'm talking about?
They have a bore gauge like that.
Because you can.
It comes out with a piece, average about a foot long. Got a twist piece on top. So you've got 4 prongs here. You got 2 that come out at an angle, 2 that come out one each way. And they're spring loaded. Push them in, you lock them. You slide it down in there, you open it up, but when it comes out and hits, you lock it again, pull it back out. You can mic that measure to give you your bore size.
So you can use that same thing on this, like if you want to see what size that seal is back up in there?
Small enough, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess you could take the diff cover off and see, but I mean, if you...
What's also on diff cover is your carrier goes in and covers with a seal bone.
So you got to take
pull
that.
The carrier out. Seal.
Yeah, you can't just take the diff cover off and put your eyeball on.
If we do that, it was the one to the top.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why you sit and fight with it until you get to the point going, hey, something right here.
Yeah.
Which I think is about 20
All right, y'all, so I got something else I want to show you while I'm here that I can point out because I got something to compare. So, when you go to recalibrate your PCM, ECU, whatever term you want to use for it, when you go to flash your computer for your tire size, so your speedometer and your RPMs will be correct, so your transmission will shift, tongue twister, so your transmission will shift correctly and everything, what you want to do is you want to measure your tire size. Or another thing you could do is you can go to the manufacturer's website for your tire, and a lot of times they'll tell you what the tire size is, and those are the measurements that you put into your app or whatever you're using to adjust your computer. And the reason you want to do that is because here, I'll show you. So here you have my tires, which are on the right, and you have the Nittos on the left. Now, both are 37 by 1350 by 17s. So, both should be 37s, right? 37 inches. But, even if you go on the website, it'll tell you what size they are, 36 and a half, 37 or whatever. So, my tire, my Yoko Geos, my XATs, they come out to like 36 and 3/4, something like that. I can't remember what the website said. Like 35 and 3/4. Now, these Nittos, on the other hand, they come out to 36 and a half. So, they are a half an inch bigger than mine. And if you look close, you can see they are a little bit taller. So when you get your wheels and your tires on your Jeep and you go to reflash your computer because you want to get your speedometer, everything correct, make sure you put the correct size in there. Don't just put 37, 35, 33s or whatever you're in there. Make sure you put the right number in there according to the right size of your tire so you can get everything working right. Tip for the day. So just want to show y'all one more thing. So what he did was they get a lot of their equipment from Rusty's. And I mean, Rusty's make good quality parts. So one of their major dealers that they work with to get parts from is Rusty's. So what they got is this long arm kit that has to go on this JK. And as you can see, it got the bolt holes here where you can make a complete bolt on if you want. But the problem is on the other side, you gotta drop the gas tank to get to the back side of the bolt. And they really didn't want to do that. And plus, since they got this master welder here, it's just a whole lot more convenient, a lot easier for them, better for the Jeep, for structural integrity, if they go ahead and weld it. So as you can see here, He ground down all of the painted parts. It's ground down all the way around, and then he swept, ground down, sanded down, knocked off all the rust and paint off of the frame itself, and all around there, and on the backside where you can't really see. And so now he's gonna come back and he's gonna weld all around there. He's gonna bring it down, weld all around there, and it's gonna be belted in bolt on, and he won't have to worry about it breaking on the trail, unless he does something stupid. But I'm gonna stand back and let this man do his job.
Can't get into the paint.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. All right, so check it out, y'all. I'm gonna have to get out of here. I came up here, and my boys up here at Outlaw Offroad, my friends, my partners, you know what I'm saying? I like hanging out up here, hanging out with them. And I keep looking back, trying to see where they at, but they working. So I don't want to keep anybody up from working. They trying to get some stuff done, take care of some customer Jeep. But just want to point it out to you. My man, you saw him back over there welding, that's Dave. And that guy back there in the back, with the bald head, that's Mike. He runs the place. If you need anything, Jeep concerned, off-road rig concerned, you even got a buggy that you want them to take care of, give my man Mike a call. Check him out on Facebook at Outlaw Offroad and 4x4. You'll know it because on the page, it'll have the guy with the mustache that looks just like that. Check them out on Facebook. I trust these guys. Don't want to go anywhere else. Look them up, give them a call, hit them up with a question. They'll be glad to take care of you. Because they changing lives up here. That's what they're doing up here. Y'all already know. As for me, I'm gonna get out of here before I get wet, y'all. Or I get hit by lightning, either one. We in Florida. You know how I could be sketchy down here sometimes. So I'm gonna get out of here. Peace out. See y'all later. Y'all have fun. Now, I flipped this camera around because I want to show you something. This guy right here, I told y'all in the last video, this guy is a genius. He does little tricks with the welder. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe talks to it or spray some stuff on it to make it come out like I don't know what he's doing. But this guy right here, built. Y'all, listen to what I'm saying. Built. He built this roll cage from scratch. I mean, come on, man. That guy. Yeah, built this from scratch. I'm gonna let him explain a little bit something about this thing. Hold up. What is this, man? How you did this, man? Just
well, we actually started out.
Give us a quick rundown on what the heck you did.
You gotta come in, wanted a cage. He runs sand wheels and stuff around there. He doesn't get stupid with it, but he wanted a cage. And when I got to looking at it, I realized I had a little bit of cancer in the rocket, which is common. But the floor pans have been changed from the last restoration on it, and literally the floor pans are just flat sheeting put over the ribs.
Right.
So I'm like, well, not a whole lot of strength there to hold up on a cage. So we ended up talking him into, he was going to be looking at future rust repair anyway. So we talked him into boxing the rockers, get rid of the rust that was in the rockers down here. Well, doing that, that's all tied into the front body mount up here, tied into the rear crossbar back here. So that is structurally spot water to the top through here, so it's structurally in the body now. And then we tied it to the frame with tubing so that the body structure was solid enough to hold the cage. These we actually got lucky and found. It's the same type of setup that we use on the TJs and the YJs and all that when we do cages in them. They're prefab pieces designed for it. But everything else is all what we do. Basically, we took the same thing we do for our Jeeps, our TJs, stuff like that, and made it work on a Scout. Now, Scouts, there ain't a whole lot of people doing to this extreme as far as caging, but I couldn't do a fashion cage. I couldn't do a cage as bold as the sheet metal and go, oh yeah, it's got a cage in it.
Right.
No, I wanted a functional cage.
Right.
That made them safe.
And that's the key word, functional.
So in that, the only spot that's not truly triangulated is this bar. But it's gusseted at the plate, bolted to a plate on the bottom underneath, that is also ran to the frame with a tie-in. Every other joint is in some way strengthening another joint. Now, if you look down past the seat there, towards the back there, you'll see where the piece goes down through the plate on the floor. That tube goes down and ties in to the 2x6 rocker that we put in the body. So this water to that, then the plate is split and watered over that. It's also got a brace plate to the back side of that and a crossbar. Like this, as tight the clearances as we've got on this one, you've got to be able to pull it out to do your final weld. You don't want to splatter the windshield or the dash with weld.
Right.
So it had to be removed. Hence, if you look down by the seat down here where it turns gray from black, there's a 2-bolt splice piece that the same thing that the bouncers use when they do lower transmission cradle removal or engine cradle removal. Anything that has to be solid but removed. So we ordered those, put them in. The B pillar section is 2-inch DOM, 120 wall. Everything else is 1 3/4, 120 wall. That's that a lot of people wouldn't put in. Just for the extra structure, since how we, because of being a street rig, we didn't want to do the visibility taking center bar. So we added the corner gussets there.
To compensate for the structural integrity that you're taking away from there.
Now, granted, it's still considered a weak point because it doesn't have that center V.
Right.
But your center V only goes to that bar anyway. So putting the corner gusset will help with the strength of the bends, but it's better than nothing. These I actually welded to the place, one because of how close they were, the visibility. Two, that also gives it more structural strength above gusset that's there.
Right.
Now, because of not having a triangulation from this corner to that corner, I gusset it here. It's got this that gussets to there, but the triangulation here isn't there, but in one side. So I actually added extra gusseting there. Wanted to be able to access the back seat. So we didn't do any crossbars up top, therefore we added the gusset on that bar along with the lower brace here. Now all that down here below that separation joint is a crossbar going across that you really can't see because we blended it with the floor. It has a crossbar from piece to piece here.
Okay, I see.
With the tile plate going to the back floor.
Okay.
So everything on this was future point of making sure that everything was graded to something. But he wanted
80-pound bag of concrete even for stability, y'all.
but he wanted to be able to use it. He doesn't have a pickup. He's got 2 input cards, and this was his baby, so he wanted to still be able to use it to go get wood, whatever it is.
Right.
So therefore, we couldn't do any excavation back here, is hence why. And a lot of people don't put the gussets on the floor plates. Drag cars put their gussets on the floor plates. All that. So that's something that, and Ian Johnson talks about it in one of his classes at college up there, is putting the gussets on the floor plate. Even if it's just an angled piece of flat plate, it's still a gusset.
True.
It helps strengthen them plate mounts.
So that's what I'm talking about. I mean, down here at Outlaw, man, they just stock custom, mild or wild, they can do it all. You want them to build you something that you want to go do some serious off-roading, rock crawling, wheeling, whichever one you want to call it, they can do it. You want to get your stock stuff worked on, even for those who can't change their oil, they'll change your oil. That's all, they do it all down here. I'm telling you, if you want to check out some of the stuff, what they're doing, want to maybe get a project, look them up on Facebook, Outlaw Offroad 4x4, Silver Springs, Florida. Give them a call, talk to Mike, one of these guys, see what they can do for you. I'm telling you, check them out. We're gonna get on to something else. See y'all back in a minute.